hearty welcome to each and every one of you who have joined us today evening on a weekday to experience this intriguing session that is Gateway to Great Way. I once again extend a very warm welcome to each and every one of you. You are across departments, across multiple years from PES University. So let us start off today's session with a brief introduction of myself and the introduction of the club. I am Aditya KR. I am an alumnus of PES University from a pass out from 2020 year, currently working in Cisco Systems Inc. India. So I'm also a computer science graduate, just like some of you here, and I've been in PS University for the last 4 years, and I have this nostalgia of recalling all of that I've had in the PS University when I see bright faces, bright names like you on the screen. So let us start off with a small introduction about Dhruva Club. The Dhruva Forum was founded 10 years ago in PS University, and the main aim of Dhruva Forum is to blend character and competence so that students can take advantage of their talents, abilities to increasingly develop their personality and channelize their energy for betterment of themselves and of humanity. So Dhruva Forum is a student organization which is run by students along with collaboration with PES alumnus, mainly engaged in grooming principle-centered leaders by educating them in various fields of personality development. We've organized a lot of seminars in the last many years with speakers from across the country. So far, the services that Dhruva Forum has rendered to PS universities to have seminars based on concentration, motivation, and self-confidence. These classes help in developing personality and character. Dhruva students are known for their very excellent academics and placements. To save students from self-destructive habits, Dhruva Forum has channelized a lot of energy in the past few years in bringing awareness about self-destructive habits. We also help in building a strong foundation for character and to train students to act and speak sensitively with awareness for society while dealing with others. So many eye-opening seminars and programs such as time management, team playing, stress management have been organized by Dhruva Forum since the last many years. So these are the kind of training tracks that we have at Dhruva Forum: lifestyle management, time management, communicational skills, power of habits, constructive criticism, and a lot of other sessions that help us in transforming our personality from an ordinary human being to a person who is responsible for society and a personality that is both a public and a private leader. Along with this, Dhruva Forum has invested significant amount of time and energy in training students for various kind of co-curricular activities such as the training tracks that I earlier mentioned, along with many other academic activities that I would like to share with you. So this is the slides of the software training workshop that we have conducted for some of our Dhruva participants who are connected to us in the last 1 year. So we've conducted this software training workshop in which it is a semi-annual technical workshop organized by Dhruva Forum for its members with an aim of providing training and guidance in various domains such as placement and career. So these are the kind of seminars in academic perspective that we have organized, such as training for WordPress, PowerPoint, video editing, data structures, algorithms, aptitude, machine learning, and Python. So this is how the course flow used to be, with interactive courses by professionals from many companies from across the industry giving their valuable inputs to the youth from PES University. Along with that, we also organized during the before the lockdown time, lot of workshops with collaboration with many other institutes such as NIT Surathkal and IIT Kharagpur. So these are the photos of the workshops that we've organized from IIT Kharagpur. And during the lockdown time, we've had such seminars organized online on Zoom, just as what we are having now, in which students took benefit of many training sessions such as oratory skills and developing a website. So we also organized another program called as Know Your Seniors, in which seniors from across various companies, across various backgrounds, and across various streams come together and share their experience and perspectives as to how student can train their career path ahead. So these are some of the few introductions of what Dhruva Forum does. And I know of Dhruva Forum students from Dhruva Forum from PES University, who all of them are now placed in excellent companies with very good packages and have a very wonderful social domain created for themselves. So today's session is mainly on understanding how our personality can be transformed into a very charismatic and leadership type, by which we can not only change our own perspective of the world, we can change the how the world responds to how people respond to the world, and how we can transform others also into leaders. So this particular session, today's session, will be given by Shailesh sir. So Shailesh sir is a graduate from PS University. He is my friend and colleague from the same batch, 2020. So he is currently working in National Instruments. He was one of the first students to get placed in our year. So let us welcome Shailesh sir today to start off with the session. So Shailesh sir, over to you.
Thank you, Aditya. And I'm very happy to be here after such a long time back with PA students. So I also, maybe 4 or 5 years back, I was also one of the student attending one of the Dhruva sessions, and I got so much inspiration by attending this. So I know you all will be thinking, what exactly are these sessions now? Today the session is entitled Gateway to Great Way, right? So before starting the session, let me ask you, what is your ambition in life? So different types of people have different types of ambition. What is it that you have in your life? What is your goal? So I have launched a poll. You all can select one. Okay, 30 seconds more. Okay, so almost all have voted. So we can see the results. So as we know, we are students, right? So our first and immediate foremost goal is so that we get a very big salary. And many have answered that. And many of you have also answered that I want to become successful in my field and also help others become successful. So that is very nice. So now one thing is about making sure what is your ambition, correct? So now so many people, according to their background and likings, have inclinations about what is their goal of life. But if you see actually, right, in their later part of life, how many actually are able to achieve that goal? How many live their ambition? So today we are going to discuss something special about this, right? So what is your personality type or what is your ambition? So I'll begin with a small story. It's a very inspirational story of a judo player from Japan. So this judo player, he had a physical disability that he had only one hand. He was born with only one hand, right hand, and he didn't have a left hand. But his dream was that he wanted to become a judo championship. Now just think about this. The person who has only one hand, he is thinking to become a world champion in judo. Now, if he becomes or not, that is another thing. But even to desire such a goal is already a big success, isn't it not? So he had this desire. And when people used to hear, they used to simply laugh and joke. But he was very fixed. So one day, he just approached one of the judo teachers who was world famous. He approached him and he asked that I want to learn judo and I also want to compete with everyone. So first he just gave a thought, will he really be able to do? Then he told, okay, you come back tomorrow early morning at 5 a.m, then we'll see. He went home, and early morning next day he came half an hour early, 4:30, and was waiting patiently for his teacher. And once the teacher came, he saw, oh, he has really turned up. Maybe he is little serious about what he has said. Okay, let us try to train him. Then he started to train him. There are so many tricks in judo, so one by one he was teaching. So he taught a trick of one of the judo move he taught and told him to keep practicing till you master it. And he was doing. And he did not have just one student, he had so many other students. So many other students, he was teaching so many other things, so many other moves and all. And and that person whose dream was to become a world champion, who had just one hand, so he had kind of mastered what he was practicing. So again, he went back to teachers, please teach me more. Now I feel I'm little confident in this move. So he told, no, you practice this move only, he told. That move was called death blow. It's one move in judo. If you know, you can relate. So he was practicing that only day and night and throughout the week. But this person, he had faith that this teacher is a teacher whom I can trust. He has got very good students and very good results also. And if I put faith in teacher, I know I can also become I can also achieve some success in my life. So he had faith and he was continuously practicing, you know, like this. By practicing, months passed by and everyone was observing that, see this man, he wants to fight and tattoo with just one hand. You know, they were thinking, what is this? Is he simply wasting his life? Can't he do some better job? That everyone was, behind him. They were talking like that. But he was consistent and he was very focused and he had faith in his teacher. And once the teacher, amongst his students only, organized a tournament in which he also participated. And surprisingly, he was a tough person to compete. You know, at the end, it was the results were out. It was shown that he was the champion amongst the tournament, amongst the few people whom he competed. He had become a very tough person, although he had just one hand. And similarly, he went on. He did not stop. His aim was very clear, that I want to become a champion in the world. So his aim was very clear and he was very focused and he was very practicing very hard to achieve his aim. And he went on competing. He went to nationals also, and there he competed. And you know what happened? He actually became a world champion. Now you all may think, what is this story? A person who is born with single hand, he grows up to become a judo champion. Is this some fiction or is this real? Correct? But let me tell you, what was the trick that his teacher taught him? The trick that his teacher taught him was, there is a special kind of move that is done by holding the person and twisting it. So that is called death blow. And the only way to counteract that move was to catch his left hand and block him. That was the only way. And surprisingly, and what is the plus point? He did not have a left hand. He had only a right hand. So this trick worked. And this trick helped him to become a world champion. This is a real life story. Correct? How amazing this misfortune turned into fortune, right? Now let me ask you a question. You all can type in chat or unmute yourself. Now let me ask you a question. This person also had ambition in life, just as many of you already have ambition in life, correct? So from having an ambition to making it achieve, how did that happen? How did this transformation happen? Or what lesson can we learn from his story to apply in my life? Would any of you like to unmute and answer, or like to type in the chat? So what is it that I can learn from this story? There are many great lessons that we can learn. So Devatitya has told, dream big. Suhas is studying, turn your limitation into a big advantage. Yes, this is a very nice point. Abhishek is telling there should be consistency. Wonderful. So actually what Suhas is telling, no, this is not an ordinary thing. The lesson is that what was his weakness, and the greatest weakness was transformed into his greatest strength under proper guidance. As Abhi Gowda is also telling, he had faith in his teacher. That's why he was able to do. Correct? Tarun is saying focus and trust. So Mohan is telling not only learning but mastering it. Yes, wonderful. So many people start with their ambition, but in between only they get demotivated and leave off. Okay. So yeah, Sindira is telling turn a disadvantage into advantage. And there are many more lessons, like when we know our strength and weakness, right? And when we are guided by a right person, then we can also do miracles. And this person, as we know, he had a very positive attitude, never give up mentality. One more lesson that we can learn is, this person, he did not concentrate on what he did not have. He concentrated on what he had, that is right hand, and then he became successful. So these are the lessons that we learn from this real life incident, the real life story of this judo player. So now let me share my PPT. Okay, just a minute. Yeah. So therefore today, now for us, what do we understand from this is, when we also know our personality, then we can do much better. And this is, and this is how, and this is the gateway to great way, right? So today we are going to discuss about this only. First, we should know what is our strong points, weak points, what is, we should be clear about the goal, and when we are clear about it, how to get that proper guidance in order to achieve our goal. So now, in the Indian ancient Vedic text, there are some clues given. In Sanskrit, these three things are given. If you want to know our personality, if you know these three things, we can know anyone's personality. In Sanskrit, it is called Sattva-guna, Rajaguna, or Tamaguna. Or Sattva-guna means mode of goodness, then mode of passion, and then mode of ignorance. So if you see, these pictures are shown here to make you understand what is the characteristic of being in that mode. So if somebody is in mode of goodness, he's like this, rose flower. He's very joyful, very happy, peaceful, and satisfied. And somebody is in Rajaguna, or mode of passion, that he wants to do something. He has that burning fire. The people say, मैं उसको दिखा दूंगा कि मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ. Like that burning fire to do something. That is mode of passion. And Tamaguna is mode of ignorance. Ignorance means what? They are lazy. They sometimes act madly. They are prone to bad habits, like that. So these are the three modes: goodness, passion, ignorance. You can have a short acronym, GPI formula: goodness, passion, and ignorance. Now we will discuss in detail, in depth about these things. So sattvic, or the mode of goodness, what kind of people fall into this category? So there are people like, Mother Teresa. There are millions of people whose heart have been touched by her. We know Dalai Lama. He's a spiritual person. So they have love and compassion to all the people, all humanity. Correct? So this is mode of goodness, S. And here we have mode of passion, or Rajasic, Rajoguna. These people are very aggressive. Like very aggressive. If you know, we can understand that the animals like lion, tiger, they're very aggressive in nature. So some people have that kind of mentality, very aggressive and very selfish. I want to do this, I want to do that, but they'll not take much guidance like the ones who are in mode of goodness, but they want to do something in their life. And the third category, as we know, mode of ignorance, or Tamaguna, or Tamasik, we can say. They are very lazy, inactive, always finding a place to sleep, or very much prone to bad habits. And there are combination of these modes also, personality for combination also. Now if you see this assertive, this intersection of S and R, that is goodness and passion. So assertive means what? He is like a leader. He wants to do something, and he has got proper vision or proper guidance. These people are like leaders for the world. Then somebody is in mode of goodness, very good, but he's also, there is mode of ignorance in him. That is much, he is like simple minded, not much talking to anyone, or just being with himself. He lacks worldly experience. Like simple minded means what? Suppose a child is there, can a child go out on the road, purchase, bargain? No, he cannot do much. All the child is very good and all, but he has no much empowerment. So people in this type of category cannot make much decisions. Then there is combination of mode of passion and mode of ignorance, that is opportunist. Opportunist means what? They envy others. As like I remember, when I was staying in hostel, I had my roommates and I had neighbor roommates also. Whenever I used to study for exam, I used to generally study when exams were not there. So whenever I used to study, they used to come to my room and tell, "Arey, how much you will study? How much you will study? Let us play and all." So they will come to my room and say like that. Then they'll go back to the room and they will study. So like that. So they want to achieve something, but they have some insecurity. Arey, Baba, he will go ahead of me. What will happen then? So like that. So these are like kind of opportunist person. And best example is politicians, or the corrupted politicians. They promise so much when the elections is going on, and after elections is done, we don't even know who was the politician whom we elected. Where is he now? Correct. And if you open the TV news channel, he will be blaming him, he will be blaming him. There will be so much exploitation, corruption, and so much like that. Correct? And one example for this mode of ignorance is also, there are some type of people who are too insecure, like they go and fall into criminal activities because they cannot do anything, nor they are in mode of goodness that their intelligence is good, so therefore they commit some criminal activities type. And some people are there who are neither fall into any category or fall into all category. They are called in the middle commoner. They have no guidance, they don't know what to do, and they are like learners. So those who are in mode of goodness, they are like enlightened soul. As I told Mother Teresa, Dalai Lama, those who are in mode of passion, they want to do something, they want to show the world who I am. So they are like commercial businessmen. Example. And those who are in mode of ignorance, they take no responsibility nor do anything. They just have, somehow get the work done. So these are like criminals or lawbreakers. Yeah. So this is simple-minded learner. For opportunist political leader, for commoner, he's like a trainee. And this assertive is actually what we want to become, which you see the combination of goodness and passion. That is, we have passion and it has to be guided by goodness. That means there has to be work which is planned and there has to be a vision how to achieve. So these are like noble person, noble leader with vision. Now there are many examples to understand what are these. So if we see in our student life, correct, we have seen many times there are different people who react differently in the same situation. For example, I'll tell you, when I was in my interviews, right, there were so many times it happens that not only first interview you get selected, so many interviews you have to go through, you have to fail, and then at one point of time you will actually get selected. But different people react differently in this situation. For example, some people first interview they get rejected and they get so morose, they don't show their face to anyone, they just lock themselves out in their room, or it goes to such an extent that they commit suicide. Right? So same situation is there, but people react differently. So this is one example. One who is in mode of goodness, he takes it positively, he learns, and next time he performs even better than what he performed yesterday, something like that. Then we can also see, when exams are there, what is our sleep routine? If you see a person who is in mode of goodness, he studies when exams are there, he also studies when exams are not there. But the person who is in mode of passion, he will study only at the night before exam, no sleep, something. And the mode of ignorance, when exam is not there, he will not study, and when exam is there, that time also he will not study. So this is mode of ignorance. Correct? So we can see mode of goodness means he has a balanced life. 10 p.m. sleeping, 6 a.m. getting up. Mode of passion, sometimes no sleep, sometimes more sleep. It is shaky. And mode of ignorance means all time sleep, like that. So I see in my company, in my corporate world, company and all. So boss is there, employer is there. There are tasks given, there are deadlines for that. So some people, they achieve it. They balance, they plan, they achieve it. Some people don't do when it is given. They do when the deadline is near, like that. They do overnight stress. Night they don't sleep and stress themselves simply. And then there are some people who never complete. They try to find excuses and all. And actually we can see this we can see in the nature, animals are there, right? So there are animals in mode of goodness, animals in mode of passion, animals in mode of ignorance. So goodness means what? You will see like cow, an elephant, they're always very silent, they're always very calm and composed, at peace, you can say. And somebody very aggressive like lion and tiger, they're in mode of passion. And mode of ignorance means what? Insecurity, or lazy to do anything, like fox or polar bear, always sleeping. Fox never hunts for its food. It will go behind the lion who hunts, and whatever remnants are remaining here and there, he will collect and eat it. That is the nature of fox. Actually, we can see in our life, when we get assignments, how do we do that? Do we really do it, or do we do the night before, or do we just take and copy paste like the fox? Correct. So we can see what mode we follow in, what is our personality, because when we know this, we can see our future, right? We can see our future, where we are actually leading to, what type of people become actually successful in their life. And even time we can categorize in the mode of goodness, passion, ignorance. Have you seen any person getting up early morning 4 a.m. and drinking beer? Have you seen like that? Never ever, right? They may go late night, 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock drinking. That is possible in ignorance. But early morning, they cannot do like that, because early morning is a very fresh time, where your mind is most peaceful and active. Correct. So such kind of like rejected activities are not performed early in the morning. You can see that difference is there. So even time can be categorized in the mode of goodness, passion, ignorance. This is what our Vedic texts tell. So this is what we understand about mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. And what we want to become is this category. We want to become leader. Leader means what? Passion guided by goodness. So we'll see some examples for this. Now, mode of ignorance, 3 characteristics. This is explained in Bhagavad Gita 14th chapter. This comes actually. That mode of ignorance is characterized by these 3 things: Nidra, Alasya, Pramad. Nidra means we know. If anyone knows Hindi, he can understand. Nidra means sleep. Alasya means laziness, and Pramad means mad. So these people are always lazy, always into drugs, alcohol, smoking, and all these things, and they never take any responsibility. I know my friends, my roommates had told, they stressed, worked hard so much, prepared so much for exam, and when the exam ended, the last exam, when that ended, they took a resolution: today night we will sleep and we will get up day after tomorrow morning. So this is like example for nidra, and if you see laziness, right now you may be because of lockdown at home, but otherwise if if you see the people who stay in hostel sometimes or in pgs, they will come. If 8:15 is the class, they get up at 8:05 or 8:10. Somehow they wear some dress and come in the college, and in their bag we will find toothbrush and toothpaste also. So in the break they will go for brushing, like that. So much laziness. So like that. So always they will have some excuse. I like to see these wonderful sessions we're conducting, but some people, oh, I don't have time for the sessions. I have a list of things to do, like that. And pramad means what? After drinking, you see how a person behaves. His consciousness, his intelligence, his strength to make right decision, everything gets lost. So these are the people who fall in mode of ignorance, and we have to be very alert and never ever to fall in this situation. Actually, it may happen for many people. It has already happened, and some of it may even happen in the future. So because we are aware, we can be alert and careful today, if we have the proper guidance. And these people know, they simply pass life. Time pass means ignorance. So utilizing time means goodness. Like you all have taken out a time, come here, join for the session and listening this. That means what? You're trying to utilize your time. So this comes in the mode of goodness. I used to feel in my college days, I had so much time. My college used to end at 3:30 to night 10. I had so much time. I used to many times simply waste time sleeping in the afternoon, in the evening, or watching some funny videos in the YouTube, or just scrolling WhatsApp. My time used to go like that only. But once I started attending these sessions, I found it so interesting. Actually, this knowledge that you are getting today is very, very basic. As the sessions progress, you can see the depth of the knowledge exponentially increasing. And this is just the first example which I am showing to you. So similarly, as we saw mode of ignorance, mode of passion also has its characteristics. It is called Sangha and Trishna. Sangha means attraction and attachment to acquire. I want this, I want this. Sometimes top people in the company go crazy, and they don't see what decisions they are taking, what limits they are setting, and they simply extract blood from their employees, like that. They have attraction to acquire something. And Trishna means hankering, always hankering. I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. They never live in the present. Although they have passion to do something, but because it's not guided, this is the result. What happens? Like, for example, we all know about this man, right? Adolf Hitler. He had such a big passion that he wanted to do something for his people, for his country. He wanted to do something for them. He has such a burning desire to do something for them. He had a very great passion. But what happened? Because that passion was not guided by goodness, it resulted into blunder. He was the reason for death of 1.7 crore people. See, 1.7 crore is a very big number. Like, if you see in any cricket stadium or somewhere, its strength, we see how when it is house full, how much population of people is there sitting, but that can accommodate 30-40,000 only. And if you want to know the population of Bangalore, it is around 80 to 85 lakh. Correct? You can understand the number. It is not an ordinary, it's a huge number. And he, in his life, has killed 1 crore 70 lakh people. Can you imagine? There's one more example that happened some years back only. There was an airplane crash. While in the mid-air, there was engine failure and there was fire that was spreading all over. So they were immediately alarmed that you have to wear the jacket and jump off the plane. Or I think when the plane landed, that time fire took off and they were immediately told to quickly empty the plane. Now this instruction was given, so one by one passengers were getting down, but few passengers, or there was one person who was busy searching for his bag, laptop bag, and some documents, and because of that, the rate at which people were coming out decreased. And this person, because of his mistake, it resulted that only 37 survived and 41 died. Although they had told that fire was not so much that everyone would die and everyone could come out safely. But because of people like this, such a blunder happened that so many deaths happened, right? So this is something called passion. This is panicky, I want this, I want that, or I want to collect this. And you see, he also is in misery and he will lead people around him also in misery, the person who is in passion. Therefore, what we want is passion. Good. I want to do something in my life. I want to have some ambition, but that passion should be channelized properly. Just as if the water is just left over, it may create a big flood or tsunami. But if it's properly channelized by constructing dams and all, you can actually direct, even you can control the direction of water also. That is also possible. So we also have ambition in our life. So we also need this direction or this proper guidance. Now, what does that mean? Let us see some examples for that. So we all know this is Acharya Chanakya or Chanakya Pandit, and he was the man of principles. So, there was a time when he approached a king called Dhananand. It was somewhere north, east or east side of India somewhere. But you know what? And he wanted to train him, wanted to give him advice that the king is going to attack. Alexander the Great is going to attack from all the sides, and you have to prepare for that. But this person, he was so much intoxicated, he had lost his intelligence. You know what he did? He told, I don't care for all this. I am busy in my activity of enjoyment and all. And he just kicked Chanakya and threw him out of his palace. So because he thought he was confident of his strength, nobody can defeat him. But Chanakya, he was a man of principles. Although he rejected, but he trained another person, who went on to build the Maurya dynasty. He was the famous Chandragupta Maurya. So he trained this person, and we all know the history, right? How big and powerful king he was, Chandragupta Maurya. He conquered most of the parts of India and the neighboring countries. Even Alexander the Great couldn't touch him. That was his power, because he was guided nicely by Chanakya. Alone, he may not be able to do much. He had a lot of power, but without intelligence, he wouldn't be able to do much. Now, he had power and Chanakya had Chanakya had intelligence. Both combined together formed a very big team. Nobody could touch him. That was the way he was ruling. There is also one story about Chanakya Pandit, that one Chinese philosopher had come to have some discussion with him. And at the night time, there was no electricity or anything. He had light a lamp. So he had two lamps. One lamp, which was given by government and for his service, and another lamp which he had for his personal use. So what he should do, if something government has given, means I should use it welfare for all. So otherwise, and he will not use for any other purpose. So therefore, when this Chinese philosopher came, he switched off that lamp and switched on that lamp which he had bought from his pocket. So that's how, such a character he had actually. He never misused any resource or anything. He was always pakka in his decisions, in his character, in guiding people. So these are, when passion is guided by goodness, we get a result like Chandragupta Maurya. There is another very good story of Vilma Rudolph. So this little girl, in her childhood, she had to undergo some serious injuries, and because of which she had lost her leg. And just as the judo player had some ambition, she also had a very big ambition. Her ambition was that she wanted to become the world's fastest runner amongst women. That was her ambition. But unfortunately, she met with an injury, and doctors said there is no hope. You have to be on the wheelchair. You have to be handicapped your entire life. You cannot even walk a step. That's what the doctor said. But for her, all these things, did not matter. She, although she was a small girl, but she had this desire that she wanted to become the world's fastest runner. And people, you know, people came to congratulate her. Hey, such a small girl having a desire to become the world's fastest runner is itself a success for her, right? What if she achieves or not, that's a different story, but even to think of this is a great success. People used to come and congratulate her, and they used to help her in whatever she asks. But slowly, she used to tell her mother that I want to become, and her mother used to say, don't worry, you just have faith in God, and God will do what is best for you. Like that, her mother used to encourage her, and she slowly, by help of a person who was taking care of her needs and all, but slowly by taking help, she was trying to move her leg, trying to walk with taking some support, and trying to walk every day for hours she used to try. And after a few hours, when she went to school, one day she went walking. One day she actually went on her foot to school. So that level she achieved, which doctors had told many years back that something was impossible. That itself she made it possible. Right? So people were surprised. How is this possible? Who is this lady? What kind of determination she has? Her mother used to tell, you always try your best and leave the rest to God. So she always was fixed in this purpose. She always used to try under guidance, that under guidance of her mother, and she used to pray to God. So always she used to train herself and endeavor. And one day in her school racing competition, she took part. In her school racing competition, she took part. And in that racing competition, you know who came first? No, this girl did not come first. She came last. So much that there was a big gap between last and second last. So people were again making joke of her. What she is too overconfident of her. So look at her, with injured leg. She's trying to compete with me, who I'm practicing since so many years. Like that, people used to mock her and tease her, but she never got disappointed. Her mother always used to encourage her. She again took part in another school competition, and this time in this school competition, do you know who came first? No, this time also she failed. Again, second time failure in a row. Right? So this time again she came last, but she never gave up. She was again and again continuously trying. If I fast forward a few years, in 1960, she won 3 Olympic gold medals to become the world's fastest runner. That's what the history says. How is this possible? Correct? And we may wonder, but these miracles have happened because she had passion, that she wanted to achieve some goal in her life, and there was proper guidance given to her. There was encouragement given to her by her mother. Correct? And that's how she was able to train herself and achieve. You can see the picture there. The left side to right side, the transformation which happened because of the guidance that she got. These are real life examples. So this is the examples that I gave for passion guided by goodness. They achieve great success in their life. Now, if we see mode of goodness, now what are their characteristics? Again, the 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita says 2 characteristics: Sukham, Jnanam. Sukham means what? Happiness, and Jnana means knowledge. So those people who are there in the mode of goodness, they are always happy and satisfied, and they have knowledge of everything. So they're always alert, they're always calm and composed, and they're always satisfied. So these are the people in mode of goodness. Now, let us understand these three modes with this example. You can see left side, the goodness one, sattva guna. You can see a person is happy. It seems like they have achieved something in their life, correct? They are always happy and satisfied. You can see the people around him also. Always peaceful and very cheerful. So these are like mode of goodness people. And if you see in the middle one, or before that, if you see the rightmost one, ignorance, tamoguna, you can see there behind that person, the graph is going down. There is something, depression, is panicky, failure in life, no power to make decision, suicidal thoughts. So these are like mode of ignorance. And if you see in the middle, passion or rajaguna. So here it seems that there is a boss and there is an employer, and they're having some conversation there. Can you tell me now? Question to you: can you tell me in the middle picture, out of those two, who is suffering? The man who is shouting, or the man who is typing on the computer? What do you think? Who is actually suffering here? Sindra is telling man who is shouting because he is very arrogant. Okay.
Both.
Oh, who said that both?
Abhigna.
Abhigna. Wonderful. Abhigna says both are suffering. Suhas also is telling both are suffering. Yeah, actually both are suffering. Correct. See, this is the result of passion. You yourself will suffer, and you will make people around you also suffer. Here the employer seems to be little incompetent, or maybe the boss is having very high expectation, and this leads to passion. Get the work done, get the work done, get the work done. The work may not be done, or even may lead to failure. But because of this attitude, it is sure that the work doesn't get done most of the times. So we can see how the three modes, a person in three modes, how is his success rate also we can see. So there is one very interesting story, which at least we would have heard in our childhood days. Situation tackling exercise. Now this exercise for all of you. So let me tell you what is it. A cab seller. Cab seller means topi. A cab seller, tired of long distance walk, kept his basket aside and slept off. Under the shade of a banyan tree that was full with a group of mischievous monkeys, after a while he got up from his sleep and found his basket was totally empty. The monkeys had picked up each one cap and, wearing on their heads, soon climbed up the tree. My God, just imagine you are that person. You had a bag full of caps and you just wanted to take some rest. But after, when you woke up and you saw all the caps are gone, and each monkey is wearing one cap. Correct. So you see, this person has a cap, and now all the monkeys also have a cap. So the question is, how would one behave in such a situation if one was in either mode of goodness, passion, ignorance? So you tell me, what is the solution for this now? If you were in this situation, now you intelligently think how you will solve this problem. Okay, Suhas has provided some solution here. That's a very good solution. So we know that the nature of monkey is to imitate. We have seen so many cartoon movies also. A person who is doing like this hookah, this playing like that, monkey also start imitating that person. Correct? So monkey has this nature, very mischievous, and they always try to imitate. So he had a cap. Monkeys also had a cap. So the solution was, he remove his cap. What will the monkeys do? They will also remove. He'll put his cap in the basket, and the monkeys will also put their cap in the basket and take the basket and go away. That's all. Very simple solution, but only intelligent people can think like that when the situation comes to them at that moment. Otherwise, generally what people will do, see, a mode of goodness, he can think of this solution, but somebody is in passion or ignorance, somebody is in ignorance, what he will do, he'll start crying. Oh, full, my 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 rupees lost. What will I do now? And he will start crying, and he'll start walking towards his home depressed. If somebody is in mode of passion, what he'll do, he'll pick up a stick, he'll run behind the monkey, run behind this monkey, and all 10 monkeys will run in 10 directions, and he'll be lost, ultimately failure. A person in mode of passion. But mode of goodness means he's very calm and composed. He can actually think of what solution can work. There is another exercise which was done in Stanford University. So this is a marshmallow experiment. Even this is a world famous experiment now. I have a small video clip. Let me play that.
All right, here's the deal. Marshmallow for you. You can either wait.
Are you able to hear the sound from video?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll give you another one if you wait, or
See, let me tell you one thing. This video you might have seen or you know what is happening, but this time you watch carefully and tell me what do you learn from this? How will it help you in your life? That you should see this time.
you can eat it now. When I come back, I'll give you another one. So then you'll have two. But stay in here and stay in the chair till I come back, okay?
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna go do something and then I'll come back.
It smells yummy. It smells really good.
Let me just fast forward what may happen. Oh, she hit it.
How'd you do? Did you do good? You did?
Yeah.
You wanted to eat it, didn't you? Yeah. So did I tell you to give you another one? Okay, now you can have both. You need them.
Okay, so now you all please tell me what do you learn from this? Very famous experiment, right? What do we learn from this? Basanagowda is telling patience. Devadita is telling patience can double the effort. Self-control. Trisha is telling self-control. Sindra is telling be patient to achieve good result. Yes. You know, this experiment, this is only 50% of the experiment. They have also tracked the lives of the students who have grown up after decades. When they had grown up, what are they doing in their life? And they saw there was some relationship. Those who were able to restrain themselves, like those who would think and then act, correct? Not just immediately, marshmallows there or chocolate candies, they just take it and eat it. No, those who were able to think and act, they were successful later in their life. Therefore, we have heard so many quotes about think before you act, look before you leap, action first and vision next. Or no, opposite. Vision first and action next. Like for example, a man is walking. Suppose a man is walking on the road and he sees there is a manhole or some construction is going on, there is a hole there, and he walks, and after that falls. And after falling, he thinks, oh, how did I fall here? I should have seen properly. So this is like a person, first action he will do, and then later he will see the vision. Oh, like this happened. Oh, like that happened. Rather, a person should be think before you act. First, he will see vision first and action next. So, like this kind of people, the experiment says that like this kind of people have greater probability of becoming successful later in their life. Amazing, right? It seems to be such an ordinary thing. They are just eating marshmallows. We may feel like that. So now let us do a self-test. How good I am in doing smart work. See, first, what is smart work? We should understand. See, there is hard work, there is smart work. When we say hard work, it means in the mode of passion. But if that hard work, is given proper direction, and if we can make it more efficient, that is called smart work, correct? So that is like passion guided by goodness. That is the art of doing smart work. So again, one quiz for you. What is it? 3 things, right? Some of us may be good at all the 3, 2 out of the 3, 1 out of 3, or anyhow. Plan, do, and interact. So am I good at planning, or am I good at doing the things, getting the things done, or am I good at interacting with various people and getting the things done, right? So what type of person am I? You tell me. Now I'll start the poll. So 3 things: plan, do, interact. If you are very good in planning, mark plus. If you are very good in doing, mark plus. Or if you are good in both, mark plus plus. And if not much in interacting, then you can mark minus. Okay, then I will tell you what type of personality you are. Please do it honestly. Okay, just one. So okay, I have launched the poll. Plan, do, interact. Honestly attempt it so that you will get to know what type of personality you are, which is a plus point, which is a minus point. Okay, 20 seconds more. Of course, I have not given option for minus, minus, minus. At least I feel most of you will have 1, 2 pluses at least. Okay, so I'm ending last 5 seconds. Okay, so let us see what category we lie under. You can see how everyone has answered. Most of them have done plus, plus, minus. After that, it is plus, minus, plus, and then plus, plus, plus. They may be very expert then. And the third option, none of you, surprised. Okay, so now I'll show you the slide. So if you're expert in planning, doing, and interacting, then you are a perfect person, balanced person. And if you're expert in planning and doing, but not much interacting with people, then you do your own things well. So I don't interact with others. I do my own things well, planning and doing. If I'm good, not in planning, but I'm good in doing and interacting means what? I will do others priority. Like for others, I'll give them more priority, interact them and do their things rather than planning for myself. And if I'm good in planning, but not doing much, but I can plan and interact with people means what? I have very good intentions, but generally no work gets done because the doing component is missing here. Right? So we can see right, what type of personality we are and where we can improve. There is one more scientific research, which says how you manage your time decides your happiness. See the relationship. How I manage my time decides my happiness. They say that 4 hormones in our body, 4 hormones are not released when if you spend over time on mobile phones, laptops, electronic gadgets. What are they? Dopamine, hormone, endorphin, serotonin, oxytocin. This is what the scientists say, that if you overspend time on mobile phones and all, or playing games and video games and movies and all these things reduces, what is that? Feeling of a sense of completion, feeling happy and joyful, feeling of self contribution, feeling of social connection. All these things reduce. So our sleep, happiness, health, relationships are important for a satisfactory life. Actually, there are such cases which are now very common. People staying in the same house but not talking to each other, rather conversing on WhatsApp. I know, once father in one house, father was telling to his son, "Are you going to sleep? Okay, then I'll send you a story in WhatsApp," like that. Generally, in the olden days, they used to recite the story when the child used to go to sleep. Now they just send on WhatsApp, and that's how they do it. This is reality, and I know many of us also are prone to this. But the scientists say that the more that we are addicted, the less these things happen. The feeling of satisfaction, happiness, sense of completion, all these things go down. So therefore, we should not be too much in passion. So ill effects for that. So this is a short, a summary. So which mode am I situated in? I can know by what habits I have. Like there are many things listed here. People, animals. I have given example for animals like elephant, then lion, and that polar bear sleeping or fox. Correct? So which mode we can know? People in the three modes I know. Mode of goodness, enlightened soul like Dalai Lama, Mother Teresa. Mode of passion and mode of ignorance like criminals. Then what time of day? We know that nobody will get up early in the morning to drink, something like that. The kind of food we eat. In even happiness also there are three modes. For example, the one who is in mode of ignorance, for him happiness is what? He will drink a bottle, he will fall down in the gutter and he will say, wow, life is so beautiful. So for him, this is happiness. He really thinks this is happiness for him. And for a passion, he thinks if I get this much work to be done and I'll achieve it, that is happiness for him. The more the work he does, the more happiness he becomes. And mode of goodness means what? He is happy. He follows a balanced, regulated lifestyle. He tries to help even others. This is like happiness even in the three modes. And if you see there is sacrifice, austerity, charity. Charity, I'll give an example. Mode of goodness means what? He'll use his money for better development for other people also, like beggars, providing them food or something like that. Mode of passion means what? They'll give to politicians. They'll give to politicians, tell them to spend in so many unnecessary things generally. And charity in mode of ignorance means what? He will put money in that organization which is making cigarettes or beers and all, something like that. So everything there is, we can categorize into these three modes: mode of passion, mode of goodness, passion, ignorance. So one more quiz for you all. I'm going to ask you 10 questions. You have to tell me what category they lie under. So the heading is, find out which mode these time wasters items belong to. First one, never setting goals or setting goals and not sticking to them. Which is this? Goodness, passion, or ignorance? You can just type in chat G, P, or I. What do you feel? I. Suhas is telling I. Yes, that's a correct answer. Mode of ignorance, correct? Because he's very insecure or he's very lazy to do the goals. Second question, moving around and socializing too much to feel security. What does this come under? Many of you are telling passion. Actually, the answer is ignorance. The feeling of insecurity means ignorance. That is the characteristic of fox also, right? He never hunts and doesn't take food, but whatever is left out by the lion, that only he takes and he remains satisfied with that. So that's kind of ignorance. And then third, low level of concentration, getting easily distracted by trivial things. It's not that he is lazy here, you can understand, right? It is that his concentration is low and getting distracted. So what is it? It should be passion. Means he wants to do something, but he's not in goodness, neither he's lazy in ignorance. He wants to do something but unable to do. That is passion, unable to achieve his goal. So that fourth one, doing more than one thing at a time and accepting unrealistic deadlines. Means he is telling that you give me that, I will do it. He tells kind of this, yes, even this I will do it. That one also you give, I will make sure it is done. What kind of person is this? Passion, right? Too much passion, we can say. And then fifth one, getting involved in everything to gain credit and popularity. What about this one? Yes, this is again P, passion. Sixth one, indecisive and postponing decisions. What kind of person these are? Goodness, passion, ignorance. Yes, it's ignorance. Narendran had told correct answer. Next, seventh one, thinking no one else can manage my work if I am the best, if I am absent. Yes, correct. Many of you have told passion. Eighth one, feeling difficulty to work with highly accomplished and smart leaders. This is tricky. Feeling difficulty to work with highly accomplished and smart leaders. Yeah, so some of you have told P, some of you have told I. The correct answer is it's both. See, feeling difficulty means insecurity. Ignorance characteristic is there, but he wants to work also with highly accomplished and smart passion also. So it is both. So ninth, forgetting things or badly organized and unclean desk. So this is ignorance, we all know. And 10th, looking for too much of perfection in job, leading to micromanagement. So this is again too much passion. Correct. So now you have got a good understanding of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Now let us see. This. This is the final video, and then we are going to conclude. So this video is very interesting video. Why all the billionaires? We are not talking about ordinary people. Why all the billionaires wake up at 4 a.m.?
Why are successful people waking up at 4 a.m. and not a different hour? What is the secret behind it? Well, they know how their brain works, and they take advantage of their brainwave states and brain chemistry. The brain produces electrical patterns, often referred to as waves. When you're first awake, your brain operates at around 10.5 waves per second. The range from 8 to 13 hertz, or cycles per second, is the alpha stage. It's been called the gateway to the subconscious mind. But when you wake up this early, you are between theta and alpha. The mind is capable of deep and profound learning, being fully aware and focused with an effortlessly calm mind. In other words, you don't have to work as hard. You are not thinking. You just relax into the moment. Another important fact known by all successful people is when you wake up, your subconscious mind is most impressionable and soaks up information like a sponge. Whatever you hear, see, or are exposed to in the first 20 minutes will affect you and set the tone for the rest of your day. This is why they meditate, listen to affirmations, and not checking their social media and emails so early. They choose consciously their tone of the day, being focused and positive and not being distracted. They choose to go to bed early and use the premature hours of each day in their own advantage. They make up a routine of waking up before the sun starts to shine and go to sleep after the sun goes down. Why do they go to bed so early? Between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. is where you can get the most from regenerative and deep sleep. After 2 a.m., sleep lacks the quality that you need as it becomes more superficial, chronically depriving your body of the regenerative sleep which you can enjoy between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. makes you wake up in the morning even more tired than when you went to bed. If you are among those that usually fall asleep well past 10 p.m., you should consider changing the situation. Set up a goal to go to bed earlier by 15 to 30 minutes each week until you hit 10 p.m. bedtime goal. Early risers like Apple CEO Tim Cook, Oprah Winfrey, and Dwayne Johnson choose to greet the day at the crack of dawn because that's where motivation is created, and they don't need to ask for it. That silence of early morning hours is what helps them use their potential to the maximum. Successful people choose to use every minute available in a day because their life's purpose is higher than any other short-term pleasure or comfortable bed mattress. They instilled this habit of waking up early in their DNA because they understand how a strong and consistent routine can support a successful life. The human brain can work at its maximum potential when it doesn't have to multitask. The quality level of work is highly dependent on the level of focus. When there are no distractions and noises to disturb concentration, the brain has a great capacity to focus on certain tasks and thus generate a balanced rate between quality and work. Successful people are aware of this, and they use their alone time in the early morning to take full advantage of their brain's functioning capacity. High achievers understand that premature hours of the day allow them to make better decisions as their energy levels are at their peak. Those who live a grand life understand that early morning willpower helps them to achieve high levels of discipline. A disciplined morning guides them towards a whole day of discipline, and this is exactly what supports their successful life. As soon as the alarm goes off, you're facing a bump in the road, and it's up to you to get over it or not. It's up to you to decide whether you use your time in your advantage or not. When everybody else is still dreaming and sleeping in their comfortable beds, it's your time to shine. It's your time to get out of your comfortable zone and have that well-deserved breakthrough. The early morning hours are moments where you can be ahead of things without being distracted. It's a time where you can focus and pay attention to what really matters.
Very nice video, right? Why billionaires wake up at 4 a.m. Something which we can learn. So this is what we had to present for today. And let me tell you something, that this is not the first and last session. It is not end here. this is just a beginning to a series of sessions which is going to help you very much in your life as a student, also afterwards. I had gone through this, and my personal experience is it was really wonderful. So I'll just quickly show you what it is. So the upcoming, there are 8 sessions which will be covered in 5 topics. So these 5 topics are like 5S formula, which we have categorized. It will raise us to the mode of goodness, cultivate positive thoughts, and ultimately make the purpose of human life successful. See, what we want to do is diminish passion, curb ignorance, and enrich goodness. That is what we want to do. So what are these 5 topics? So the first S stands for soul. Who am I? It is said that as a driver drives a car, the soul similarly drives this human body or any body. So only when we know our true identity or true personality, our goal becomes very clear and it's very easy for us to achieve. So this is the first S. The second S is supreme, correct? So just like this human body is like a machine which we are operating, like that this entire universe is also like a machine. Who is operating that? So there must be a big brain, right? Is it the Big Bang or the big brain? So scientist says, this Einstein says, I believe in an intelligent designer. If I met God, I will ask how you create a universe. Right? So this is the second S that we are going to talk about. And the third S is scriptures. Right? So we know that if you buy a machine, we get a manual with it. So if I buy a washing machine, I know I have a manual with it, how to operate that washing machine, how to use and how to not use. Suppose if a child tries to operate, it may even cause great danger for him, right? So similarly, there is manual for life also. That is the scriptures. And the fourth is solution, right? So these are like Vedic solutions to modern problems. Sometimes once upon a time, Einstein said that man has invented so many problems. The intelligence with which man has invented problems is not enough to solve them. So the fourth is that we are going to talk about is solution. And final and the most important, this is the sound vibration. So if you know George Harrison, he was very famous in the 90s, in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. He says that spiritual music is a way to go inside to our own temple and calm down our mind, calm down your mind. This is good. According to many scientific research, right? So regular chanting of some mantras reduces amount of stress and depression. It leads to an increase in the sattva or goodness quality of life. So these are the 5S, and for which maybe Aditya will tell you the few further steps, how if you want to register, when they are, who will be taking, how to go ahead and all. So this is what a few years back when I was also in my first year, similar sessions were conducted for me by my seniors, and I was really inspired. Rather, I got an opportunity to connect to my seniors and inquire from them how they have done in their student life, how they have achieved where they're standing right now. Correct? So that is very important, which most of your classmates do not have access to. Correct? You all have that access. If you want, you can strongly get connected. You can take guidance and see whatever session we went through today. It was just an intro. But what session that you are going to go ahead in the future, that is like, this was like basic, and that is like much more depth in understanding about everything, about me, my life, my goal, and everything. Right? So these are very wonderful sessions, and it is great that they are still continuing. There are, I don't know if we have met any seniors, but these are all organized by your seniors only. We are just invited here as a guest. So I'll now hand over to my dear friend Aditya, so he can tell you the further steps for it.
Thank you very much, Shailesh. It was really a very insightful session that you gave, encouraging all of us to actually introspect as to how we can change our personality and how we can develop our personality by knowing these principles of the 3 basic traits of personality, that is goodness, passion, and ignorance. And in fact, I, being part of Dhruva Forum for the last 4 years, have imbibed these learnings from Dhruva Forum, by which I have been able to transform my personality into an assertive personality, that is passion guided by goodness. And as what Shailesh said just now, that we will be having these sessions based on 5S, that is mainly focusing on the 6 theses that I'm going to present to you in the video that I'm going to share now. So in the chat, I have already shared a link for all of you wherein you can enter the feedback for this particular session, and also let us know if you would like to be interested for the 6th session course that we'll be having in the future, the 6 theses, based on which let us watch a very interesting video. These 6 theses presented as 5S will help us transform our personality and excel in every sphere of our life. So I am presenting to you that video now on screen. So let us have a very good watch of it. Are you all able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Discoveries like gravity.
Is it audible also?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Electromagnetism, and relativity have changed the course of world history. But a discovery of far more importance for you than all these is yet to be done. Indeed, that discovery, which can change the course of your life, beckons to you right now. It is the opportunity to discover yourself. Discover the deepest and greatest secrets of life in this exciting 6-session journey. Session 1. Can a scientist believe in God? Science, as it has probed farther into space and deeper into the atom, has found marvels of intricacy and delicacy at every level. No wonder then that the greatest scientists throughout history, Galileo, Newton, Kelvin, Einstein, Maxwell, Max Born, have all concluded that this astounding harmony and design requires a designer. Session 2. Getting the eyes to see God. If God exists, why are we not able to see him? Does he keep himself hidden from us? Or has he given us the means to see him? Can material science find God for us? Or do we need another, higher dimensional science? Discover a timeless yet cutting-edge spiritual science that unravels all the truths of life. Session 3. Vedic Wisdom, the privilege of humanity. Discover your greatest human resource, an underutilized power that has raised you far above the animal world, the latent ability that can bring out the divinity locked within you. Discover also the manual for life, the wisdom literature handed down since time immemorial that contains extraordinary scientific information and unparalleled spiritual revelation. Session 4. Existence of the soul, fact or fantasy. Scientists have documented innumerable cases of extraordinary people, children who have remembered their past lives, and patients who have seen themselves from outside their own bodies. That mysterious source of consciousness, the ultimate anti-material particle, the soul or the Atman, can be discovered through Vedic spiritual science. Session 5. Substance and Shadow. All of us are searching for beauty, for love, for peace, and for joy. Discover the truth that will take your search to ultimate fulfillment, beyond the miseries and anxieties of life, beyond the limitations of time and space, to the spiritual realm, to the Supreme Person, to that which is the source of all beauty, the reservoir of all happiness. Session 6. The Path of Endless Love. Discover the sublime secret that underlies and unifies all the great religions of the world. Go beyond externals to the heart of spirituality. Love. Love for God and love for all his children. Discover practical and powerful techniques to awaken that lost love in your own heart and to share that treasure of divine love with the whole world. Don't miss this intellectual and spiritual adventure, lest you miss yourself.
Thank you all for joining this extremely interesting and intriguing session. I request all of you to actually fill the feedback form link for which that I shared in the chat. And now, if any of you have questions with regard to what Shailesh sir has spoken so far, you can raise your hands and we will give you an opportunity to ask this question directly to Shailesh sir. Meanwhile, kindly contemplate and think upon these 5S by which we can transform our personality. These sessions will be conducted online because of the lockdown and will be conducted at a time that is comfortable for you, especially during the evenings and when there are no collisions with your lab exams or your exams. So these considerations will be taken care before we schedule these sessions. So all those interested participants, including all the participants who have joined us today, are requested to fill this particular feedback form, in which you can give us the option whether you want to continue with attending these sessions. And all of these sessions are for free, because this is knowledge that you will not gain anywhere, and this kind of sessions will help us transform to our personality, and therefore no amount of money can actually be exchanged in terms of this knowledge. And therefore the college also has given us opportunity, which we have been conducting these sessions for the past 10 years, and I know of many hundreds of students who have got transformed and whose life has changed by attending these sessions, of which me and Shailesh sir are two of us who have this experience. So I'm sharing the link again for all of you. And now if someone wants to ask any question to our Shailesh sir here, who is a guest speaker for today, then you are welcome. If any of our participants would want to put their question in the chat, they're also welcome. So Shailesh sir, there's a very interesting question by Suhas DJ. So would you like to take it?
Yeah, very nice question, Suhas. So his question is, how to know how much is enough? The trick is simple. You have to ask somebody who already knows about it, because he has experience. He can guide you, so he can tell you how much is enough. So for example, me and Aditya, we both are computer science graduate, and you can ask us, how much do we involve in the club activities? How much do we participate in hackathons? How much should we go in the Geeks for Geeks site? So we can guide you that way. So similarly, whatever field you are, just ask the person who is expert in that. That's all. Good question. Thank you.
If any of you have questions based on the 6 sessions that we are going to conduct in the future, you are welcome to ask them also. Hope all of you have received this link on the chat. We request everyone to attend this link and to fill the feedback form. Okay, Suhas has one more question. How to start from? Yes, sir. Please.
Yeah, so his question is how to start upon managing time. Again, a very interesting question. So generally, I have heard one statement which says that the problem is not of time management, rather the problem is of mind management, right? Because time is same for everyone. Everyone has the same amount of time. As I was telling, every student as of my batch, we had 3:30 to 10 p.m. free time, but different people utilize it differently, correct? So therefore, it's more of management of mind rather than time. So time will be the same, but how to utilize it, that matters. And for that, as we had previously shown, right, plan, do, interact. So you first plan, right, what is it that you want to achieve. Then you can categorize into different categories. What is urgent and important that I will achieve first? What is important but not urgent right now, so I can do it in the next priority. Some things are not urgent and not important, so you can plan it in the future. So like that you can actually categorize. You can take help of somebody who knows how to apply these things and he has applied in his practical life, and you can actually do wonders like that, manage time very easily, correct? Because many people fail to manage time, therefore they end up doing only things at the last minute, or they fail to do it, most of them. You can see your friends also like that. Generally when assignments are given, it's not that it's them who do it, rather they just copy paste from somewhere, well, they're unable to manage. So like that.
Thank you all for joining. I would once again want to reiterate on requesting the audience to fill the feedback form, and I would like to express my gratitude to Shailesh sir for joining us in his busy schedule. See, for us, we are students and we have our classes only during the daytime. But because it is work from home, Shailesh sir also has work both during the day and even sometimes calls with colleagues from abroad even during the evening. So I would like to express my gratitude on behalf of all the participants here to Shailesh sir for giving us his wonderful time. And sir, would you like to take one more question?
Yes, definitely.
So the question is,
Yeah.
how do we say no to someone and make us a priority?
Yeah. So for that, you have to choose your association very wisely. Correct. So generally, it is said, right? Birds with the same feather flock together. So therefore, you choose your association very wisely. If you are there with like-minded people, that will help you to achieve your goal very quickly. Rather, if you are there with people who are discouraging you, like I gave an example of some people who used to come to my room, my hostel room, and used to say, how much you will study? Let us play something and let us do that. They will only they will only want me not to study. After, they'll go back to the hostel and they'll start studying like that. So how to say no to these people? So therefore, you have to choose your association very wisely. So therefore, you associate with those people who are who are very balanced, very planned in their life. Correct. Seeing them, you can also learn how to lead a life like them, and you can connect to your seniors who are expert already. That is the easiest way. So your association is that what matters here, whom you associate with. It is a saying that you tell me, just you tell me your 5 best friends and I can tell who you are, like that. So that's what association plays a very big role in our life.
Thank you very much for such wonderful advice, Shailesh sir. We definitely are very eager to have your association quite often. We will try our best to organize such programs wherein we will invite you again and again. I see that the audience are just hooked onto the session and want to hear more from you. But then there is always a constraint of time. Therefore, we'll conclude the session for today. I see a lot of messages on chat, such as how do we keep in touch with Shailesh sir. So all such participants who are eager to attend many more sessions and keep in touch with your seniors like Shailesh sir can register in the link, and we will reach out to you once you register. Hope that answers your question. Anything else? We will close for today. Thank you very much. I would like to once again remind all the participants to fill in the feedback form and proactively, if all of you have enjoyed today's session, I would suggest all of you to register for the 6 session course, which will be conducted considering your busy schedule and your exams that are coming forward. So wish you all the very best. Thank you very much. Yes, this 6 session course is also a certified course, which I actually forgot to tell. So this 6 session course will come with a certificate that is certified by Jawahar sir of PS University. So you'll all be receiving this certified course once you complete these 6 sessions. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.